Hello again, and welcome to another episode. And today, guys, I'm going to cover another writing task 2 question. And this is a question that one of you sent to me the other day and asked me to write a sample band 9 response to this question. All right, this question is not advantage disadvantages. All right, it's about advantages. Do the advantages outweigh disadvantages? It's a little bit tricky and challenging since when you want to write about advantage and disadvantage, that's quite clear. You do not have to hold a particular view or opinion toward the question. But when you do face advantage outweigh disadvantage, so in this case, you have to write your opinion. Are the advantages more or vice versa, or disadvantages are more, right? So this is your opinion. So be careful. In this type of essay, you have to say which side, right, is more, which side outweigh the opposite side, all right? Now, first, take a look at the question here. Some people think that hosting an international sporting event is beneficial for a country, while others disagree. So, two types of view. Some people believe or think that international sporting event in a country is beneficial. Others believe that no, it's not beneficial at all. Do the advantages of hosting a major sporting event outweigh its disadvantages? Right. So, first of all, as I said, bear in mind that in this type of question, you have to say, are the advantages more or not? But where should I mention this? Do I have to say this in the first paragraph in my thesis statement? Or no, I can just postpone it up to, let's say, conclusion part. Now, we're going to work on the structure here. We worked on this type of question, advantage outweigh disadvantage, a lot in our previous videos. You can refer. And I worked on a structure that you talk about are the advantages more than disadvantages in your first paragraph, in thesis statement. But today I'm going to work on another structure, right? Now, in this essay, what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to write about my idea in the first paragraph in the introduction. I'm going to actually talk about it in the conclusion paragraph, all right? So what I'm going to do here is that, as you know, that introduction consists of 3 parts. The first part is writing about a general statement. So in this case, a general statement would be international sporting event. We can talk about what is international sporting event, all right? And then we paraphrase the question and we write our thesis statement. But here, we just mentioned in the thesis statement that there are advantages and disadvantages to host a major sport, let's say, sporting event. All right. I just mentioned that there are advantages and disadvantages. And one thing which is very important here, if you think that advantages are more, that advantages outweigh disadvantages, so in this case, your first body paragraph should be about disadvantages. And your second body paragraph should be about advantages. And one thing which is very important is that the paragraph in which you are going to talk about the advantages, which is your second body paragraph, should be more. The number of words should be more than disadvantages, right? Because you believe that advantages are more than disadvantages, all right? And you have to prove it, let's say, much more strongly, all right? So this is very important. So what I'm going to do here, let's first of all start writing our introduction paragraph. So we started with a general statement about international sporting event. International sporting events are well known for attracting a high level of attention because they give many people something to look forward to. Because they give many people something to look forward to. This is our general statement. Now, after that, I'm going to, let's say, mix the paraphrasing statement and thesis statement together. Understandably, there are advantages and disadvantages for the host country, and careful consideration is required to determine whether a nation will benefit or lose from hosting a major sports championship. As you can see here, I do not say that advantages outweigh disadvantages. That advantages are more than disadvantages. Nothing. I just say that there are advantages and disadvantages. Disadvantages. That's it. Now let's move on to our next paragraph, which is our first body paragraph. Here we have to talk about disadvantages. Why? Because we believe that advantages are more. Now, before starting writing the first body paragraph, what are some disadvantages of hosting actually a sporting event? What are that? Well, the first is that the expenses of, let's say, building stadiums are a lot, all right? And so many times local people have to spend that money. Actually, they do not spend it. The government, by imposing some taxes, right, will get that money from local people. So this is one disadvantage. And another disadvantage is that when those stadiums are built, they afterwards, maybe most of them are not used in the future. So they will just fall into this repair, right? So we're going to cover these two disadvantages here, all right? Now let's start writing our first body paragraph. Worryingly, because I'm going to talk about disadvantages, I start with the word worryingly. The new infrastructure required for hosting a major sporting event often comes at the expense of local people. Now, I have to expand it. I have to talk about it more. What do I mean by this? Their lives get disrupted by construction works, and at times residents have even been evicted from their homes for stadiums to be built. So this is one disadvantage of this. Worse still, practice shows the expensive, gigantic buildings constructed for the sports even are not being used afterwards and fall into this repair, leaving the country with high maintenance bills. This is another reason. This is another, let's say, disadvantage of holding a sporting event. And what is the financial burden of this? Right? It's a lot, all right? Tons of billions of dollars, right? The financial burden from hosting the Olympic Games, for example. Now, this is giving example, right? Sometimes you can give example in order to justify your viewpoint. The financial burden from hosting the Olympic Games, for example, is staggering and can run into tens of billions. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to say that it still remains whether the pros outnumber the cons or not. Now, I'm going to end this paragraph like this. Still, the question remains whether or not the pros outnumber the cons, right? So again, I'm just saying that still it's not clear that the advantages are more than disadvantages, all right? I'm just going to delay giving, let's say, definite viewpoint. Now, our next body paragraph, which is second body paragraph. In this paragraph, I'm going to talk about advantages. And the words are more than the previous paragraph because this is my own viewpoint that advantages are more. Right? I'm going to, let's say, give more reasons in order to justify my answer. Now, what are some advantages of hosting an international sporting event? You know, the first one is the prestige that comes with becoming, let's say, a home to an international sporting event, right? So another advantage is new trade opportunities appear for local people, and they benefit from that, right? And there's also an increase in tourism, which gives the local people a boost of economy, right? And so many hotels and infrastructure like roads, rail links will be created, so that would benefit local people. And another important aspect of, let's say, hosting an international sporting event is a national pride, all right? The national pride among local people. That they believe that they are, let's say, highlighted throughout the world and people kind of respect them. This is what we call national pride. So these are the advantages associated with holding a sporting event. Now let's start writing this paragraph. It is hard to underestimate the amount of influence on the country's global status and prestige that comes with becoming a home to an international sporting event. I start my paragraph with a topic sentence which shows that I'm kind of, let's say, I kind of believe that advantages are more by saying it is hard to underestimate the amount of influence. It is hard to underestimate the amount of influence. So this shows that I kind of believe that advantages are more and outweigh the disadvantages. It is hard to underestimate the amount of influence on the country's global status and prestige that comes with becoming a home to an international sporting event. Now, what are those advantages? I'm going to just enumerate them. New trade opportunities appear on the horizon. This is our first advantage, as it happened for many countries that hosted the Olympic Games. And this is an example that I'm giving here in order to justify my answer, right? And another one is the increase in tourism. There is also is a very important word here. It shows that I'm just writing about the second advantage. There is also a welcome increase in tourism, which gives the local economy a boost, injecting billions of dollars into the national budget. All right. Now, I should here talk more. So what do I mean by injecting billions of dollars? So construction of new stadiums, hotels, and infrastructure such as new roads and rail links creates new jobs, further improving the country's economy. So this is expanding my answer, my second advantage. And the third one is less tangible but still important is the aspect. Less tangible but still important is the aspect of national pride and the feel-good factor associated with hosting an international sports event. All right, that's it for our second main body paragraph. Now it's time to write conclusion paragraph. And it is here in this paragraph that I'm going to write about my own opinion that I believe that advantages are more. All right? All in all, it seems to me that an international sporting event can bring more good than harm to a country, especially if its potential dangers can be avoided or minimized. So this is exactly the part that I have to write, the thing that I have to cover, to mention or to say my own opinion. If you have not mentioned it, if you have not written anything about your opinion regarding this question in the first paragraph, you have to write it here in the first sentence of your conclusion. And the last sentence can be a prediction or a suggestion or recommendation or a threat about future or something like this. Hosting a world championship is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a country and an immense source of pride for its citizens. All right, that's it. This is a sample task 2 response that would definitely get 9 band score. I've tried to use as many words as possible about lexical resource. The grammar is perfect here, and also coherence and cohesion is totally follow through. So I make sure that nothing is left. And as you can see, task response, which is very important, is to the point. All right. You totally and you completely say that advantages are more than disadvantages. All right, that's the all for today, guys. If you have any questions, you can simply ask in comments and I will kindly answer all your questions. And I would really appreciate it if you like this video and comment it, and you can also introduce it to your friends who want to take part in IELTS tests. All right, that's all for today. Until next time, enjoy your time, stay tuned, and goodbye.